Hey, and welcome to yet another episode of Cosmic Besties. I'm Kelly, and I'm here with Cristy today. And this is your go to space for deep and soulful connections that are supposed to feel like hanging out with your best girlfriends, aka us. We're trying to bring the spiritual into the mainstream just a little bit more. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive into the magic together. Today, we're going to talk about tarot. It's something that both Cristy and I have spent a pretty good amount of time with at this point, and we've learned a lot about. And we're excited to talk to you a little bit more about what it is and why we love it and how it's benefited us. So, Cristy, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, so what I love about tarot is it's telling you a story of what your soul is going through in this moment in time. It kind of can give you a glimpse of what the energy was in the past and a glimpse of what the energy might be in the future. But it's really about the story of your own soul and kind of the journey that you're on in this current life and in this current timeline. So my favorite movie is Walter Mitty. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's just the sweetest movie in the whole world, and I love it so much. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. If you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. But to me, his life is kind of a good example of like the hero's journey, which a lot of the, actually not a lot of, all of the major arcana cards are based off of. So if you, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it's okay to say this. Like in the beginning, he's just starting out on his journey and he's taking this leap of faith and he doesn't really know where he's going. He just knows that he's going. And along the way, he has these different lessons that he has to learn and he goes through different trials and he meets certain expanders. And this is all following kind of that hero's journey that's in the tarot, where you have this first adventure and then it leads into certain trials, which eventually will lead into transformation, which at the end he is transformed, and a new cycle begins. So that's what's really cool about tarot, because depending on where you are in that journey, whether you're just in the beginning or you're kind of going through the ringer or you're nearing the end of your cycle and about to start a new one, tarot can kind of give you an idea of where you are. And then from that, you can kind of gain valuable insight on how you make decisions or kind of where you want to go towards your future. So that's why I really like it. I think it's interesting, and I think it kind of plays in nicely with just how a soul is going through life anyway.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting because I think like people will use it in different ways and none of those ways are wrong. Like some people will use it for like divination, right? Like gaining insight into the future. Other people are using it purely for just self-reflection, and then some people are using it for inspiration. But I went down one of those like ADHD rabbit holes that I sometimes go down the other day, and I started like digging around because I wanted to know like what was the whole history of tarot. And what I found was that tarot actually started as a game.
Oh,
So this is from like way back, like 1300, 1400 in Europe. My understanding from what I learned is that the first tarot cards appeared in Italy in the early 1400s. And I am not Italian, but it was originally called like Trionfi or something, meaning triumph. And
oh, interesting.
yeah, they were part of a card game that they say it was like similar to modern day bridge. And wealthy families actually like commissioned hand painted decks. And these decks were used like for pure entertainment. So no fortune telling or divination or anything like that. And then 1400 to 1500s, that was about the time when like the first 78 card deck came out with like the 56 minor arcana and then the 22 major arcana. So each suit had numbered cards like ace to 10 and then court cards. But then it wasn't until around like the 1700s that tarot evolved into kind of this like spiritual tool. And there was this person from France in like the late 1700s, Antoine Court de Gabeline or something. I'm not French. I'm probably slaughtering these names. But like that person claimed tarot was ancient Egyptian wisdom hidden in a card game. And he
Oh,
thought it had like secrets contained from different mystery schools.
that's
Um,
very interesting. I always thought it was like something from like the gypsies that were in like Spain and something for some reason. Maybe that's like a past life that I'm remembering, but
I don't
that's
know.
for
Well,
some
so
reason
then
I thought it came around.
there was another person like Jean Baptiste Alliette or something.
That
He
sounds
was the
French.
Yeah, he was the first person to design tarot specifically for divination. And he like published all these books back in the late 1700s. So like tarot met mysticism probably from a lot of different angles. I'm sure that you're not wrong that like there was some gypsy flavoring to it, which is, the Roma people from the eastern parts and, you know, speculation is that a lot of the Roma people who immigrated to Europe were actually from farther south, so maybe even ancient Egypt. So maybe this all fits together. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it
Um,
makes sense.
but then in the 18 to 1900s, like there was this tarot sort of started to become part of this Western, like esoteric genre. So when you think about it, like, I don't know, I'm going real deep into the rabbit hole here, but like Kabbalah, Freemasonry, like Hermeticism, all this stuff I find so fascinating. Like all of that stuff kind of got pulled in and tied into tarot. Um, and yeah, it sort of started to evolve over time. And then you get to like the early 1900s, and that's when A.E. Waite, who was like a famous mystic, and
Mhm.
Pamela Coleman Smith, the like artist, they published the Rider Company and made that Rider Waite tarot deck that is so familiar to everybody.
Yeah, that's a great, if you're just starting out, that's a great one to get. That's the one I always recommend. Um, but I don't know. I think that's so interesting, the whole Egyptian and how it kind of evolved from this card game to being a tool that people use to gain insight into like their inner worlds. I don't know, that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, for sure. Whether it's tarot or meditation or oracle decks or channeling, I think they're all just different tools we can use to contact like our higher self. And so some people will be called to doing tarot, some people will be called to doing oracle, some people won't do any of those and may just want to sit outside under a tree and close their eyes and see what messages come. But I think anything you do to connect to your higher self and try to leverage that wisdom from your higher self is useful.
Yeah. And to me, like when I'm doing tarot readings, I have the person like put their energy into it. I have them think about their question as they're shuffling. And I tell them to really like imagine they're infusing that question and that energy into those cards. So to me, like there's nothing like a lot of people will be like, oh, it's like the devil speaking. And to me, it's not. It's just your own energy. So it's not my energy. It's whomever has the cards. It's their energy. Um,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a nice way to, yeah, like you said, like connect to your higher self and gain that inner wisdom that you already know but is so clouded from like your ego and your brain and all the things that you think you should be having. But when you kind of quiet that down and you really focus on sending that intention or that question or that energy to those cards, then a lot of that inner knowing is able to come out and you don't even realize it. So a lot of people are like, oh, like you always choose the right cards for you. And it's like, it's not me choosing them. It's your own energy. Like you're being led to these cards. I'm just deciphering the meaning behind them and explaining what the insight could mean.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you bring up a really good point. Like, I think so many people operate from that place of fear. And that's where those negative connotations came from. It's like people who are so scared that's dominating their mindset, and they're not necessarily then connecting to their higher self. They're like opening themselves up for anything else that is in that same vibration of fear.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. So Kelly and I thought it'd be fun. I have my tarot cards to pull a card and kind of see maybe what I don't know, do we want to see like what the energy is of the collective or whomever is going to be watching this? Or do we want to see like where they are, where we all are as a collective on this like hero's journey or on this soul's path?
Yeah,
Which one sounds better?
let's do a reading for the collective about kind of where we are on the hero's journey. I feel like that would be interesting, and I think with you and I both manifesting that it will reach the right people who are on the same journey, then it could be a nice little mode of reassurance for them,
Okay.
or maybe
So,
self-discovery if they don't know what's coming.
okay. The Knight of Cups. So, not a major arcana card. The Knight of Cups is representative of this kind of blooming love story. And it could be a love story within yourself or a love story with another person. But wherever you are on your journey, know that there is this kind of new love that's going to be coming in that's really going to awaken your heart and be really good for your heart. It's going to make you feel all of those kind of like butterflies that you think of. Like when I see the Knight of Cups, I think of like the quintessential like romantic lead in like a romantic comedy from the 90s. It's like that type of love. It could also be somebody that you meet while traveling. A lot of times the Knight of Cups represents like a holiday romance, but what I'm really picking up is kind of this new love that's blooming within. So, getting to know yourself on a deeper level and learning to love yourself amidst all of the different flaws that you think that you have. So, kind of letting go of those masks that we wear and really getting to know
Mm.
yourself on a soul level. And that's where you're going to find love because the love that you're looking for is already existing inside of you, and you can't have a love with somebody else if you don't love yourself first. So I feel like whomever is going to be watching this, maybe they're on a journey of self love right now. And let's pull one card to see a supporting energy for this. So, any other advice or insight on this self love journey? The Three of Pentacles. Okay, so there could be connection, getting yourself out there, going outside of your comfort zone, doing something new, creating something. This is going to be drawing in more of that, those type of connections and those expanders that you're really wanting to bring into your life. I also think the more you love yourself, the more you're going to attract other people who are of that same vibration. So keep working on yourself, keep learning about your soul. And yeah, the love is going to come because it's coming from within and you're going to shine it out like this beacon, and all of the good things that vibrate on that same vibration are going to find their way to you.
Okay, this is just a random thought, but like related to your whole reading. The whole
Mm-hmm.
thing that's coming into my mind is I just finished the third book in the ACOTAR series,
Oh,
and
yeah.
when Feyre faces the Ouroboros, the black mirror in Scries, and she sees sort of like herself, but all of like the most scary, deep, dark parts of her, and she walks away like accepting and loving all those parts. Like that's what your whole like
Yes.
reading just reminded me of.
Oh my God. That's exactly like what I was trying to convey. Yeah. Like you're taking off those masks and you're loving yourself despite all the things that you think are negative because they're not. They're just part of you. And maybe that's, little bells ringing for you to kind of go a little bit deeper and see why it is those shadows are there. But the whole point of it is to learn how to love yourself. And by loving yourself, you're going to draw in more love to you.
I
So, yeah.
love that. I love that. So I hope you enjoyed this snippet about tarot. Christy and I have talked about doing some follow-up episodes to help you dive with us a little bit more into tarot. I'd like to learn more about tarot, so we'll do some more deep dive sessions coming up in future episodes on that if you'd like to learn along with us.
Yeah. Have a good
So,
one.
bye.